When you hear the title 1984, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For most of us, it's that chilling idea of a government that watches your every move. But what if all that surveillance is just the start? What if the real terror isn't just about being spied on, but about being forced to worship the one doing the spying?
Ah, this slogan. It's famous for a reason. It's more than just a warning, isn't it? It feels like a statement of divine power. It's this creepy, constant promise that nothing you do, nothing you say, not even a thought that flickers across your face goes unnoticed by this all-seeing, all-knowing presence.
So you might think it's all about spying, right? A totalitarian state keeping tabs on its citizens. But what if we've been missing the deeper story? What if Orwell was warning us about something far more insidious than just surveillance? In this explainer, we're going to dig into how the all-seeing state in 1984 is actually the blueprint for a new and absolutely terrifying kind of religion.
Okay, so let's start with that all-seeing eye. The party's obsession with surveillance goes way beyond just preventing crime. It's really about creating a sense of divine, inescapable presence.
Think about this for a second. The party admits they watched Winston for 7 years before they finally arrested him. 7 years. They weren't trying to stop him from committing a crime. They already knew everything. The point of the telescreen wasn't just to catch him in the act. The point was to establish that Big Brother is always there. He's omnipresent, like a god in your own home.
So if Big Brother is this godlike figure, then what's the actual god he represents? Well, the party is shockingly honest about this. They have a new deity, and its name is power.
God is power. This isn't just some throwaway line. It's the central pillar of the party's entire belief system. We see it twice. First, when the interrogator O'Brien is explaining things to Winston, and then later, when a completely broken Winston writes it down himself. You see, the party doesn't just get rid of religion. It hijacks its entire structure and puts itself right in the center. And listen to the words O'Brien uses here. He doesn't say, "We are the leaders," or "We are the rulers." He says, "We are the priests of power." The inner party literally sees itself as a new clergy, a priesthood whose job it is to serve their one and only God, pure, absolute power.
So what's the sales pitch for this new religion? O'Brien lays out the whole grim theology. It goes like this. You, the individual, are weak, you're mortal, and you're doomed to fail and die. But the party? The party is immortal and all-powerful. So the only way for you to touch that immortality is to completely erase yourself and merge with the party. This is how they justify slavery as freedom. By becoming a slave, you're supposedly freed from the one thing everyone fears, death itself.
Of course, a belief system is nothing without rituals to back it up, right? You need ways to enforce that belief and purify the followers. And believe me, the party has its own set of brutal sacraments.
I mean, the parallels to religious rituals here are just stunning, and they are completely intentional. Think about it. In many religions, you have confession to admit your sins, and then penance to purify your soul. The party does the exact same thing. Traitors are forced into humiliating public confessions. And in the ministry of love, the torture is a horrific version of mortification of the flesh, all designed to bring the sinner to the final stage of purity, not just obeying Big Brother, but truly, genuinely loving him.
And the holiest of holies in this dark religion? That would be Room 101. This place is so much more than a torture chamber. It's basically a personalized hell. It's where they take your absolute worst fear, the thing that terrifies you more than anything else in the world, and use it to burn away every last shred of your identity. The goal isn't just to punish, it's to cleanse you, to make you pure enough to be welcomed back into the fold.
And this is the final act of faith. It's not enough to just say 2 + 2 = 5 because you're scared. No, you have to believe it with every fiber of your being. This is the ultimate symbol of surrendering your own mind, your own sense of reality, to the party's dogma. Objective truth? That's heresy. The only truth is what the party says it is. All right, so we've seen how they break down and convert the individual. Now let's kind of zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Because the entire state in 1984 is built to function like one giant, terrifying church.
The hierarchy is a dead giveaway. You've got Big Brother as the untouchable, godlike figurehead. The inner party, just as O'Brien said, are the priests who interpret his will. And the three huge ministries, truth, peace, and love, act like a twisted version of a holy trinity, completing the whole religious structure.
And just like many strict religious orders, the party enforces a kind of social asceticism. They control love, sex, and family because those things create loyalties that compete with the state. By sucking all the joy and real connection out of human relationships, all of that emotional energy, all that devotion gets redirected upwards, to the party and to Big Brother. Marriage is only allowed for one reason, to create new bhaktas, new devotees for the next generation.
So, this all leads to the really big question, why? Why did Orwell construct this incredibly detailed, horrifying parallel between a totalitarian government and an organized religion? Well, the answer seems to lie in his own life and in his deepest fears about human nature itself.
You see, Orwell was raised in the Anglican Church, but he grew up to be a firm atheist. The real lightbulb moment for him came during the Spanish Civil War. He was there on the ground and he saw firsthand how the Catholic Church was actively supporting fascist dictators. He came to the conclusion that organized religion wasn't just a spiritual path, it was its own form of authoritarian power structure, demanding total obedience and blind faith.
And this led him to what he called power worship. This was Orwell's great fear. He believed that if you condition a society to bow down to an unseen, all-powerful divine figure, you're creating a psychological habit of worship. And that habit can be easily transferred from a god in the heavens to a dictator right here on Earth. It's like a muscle memory for submission.
And that, right there, is the deepest, most chilling warning in all of 1984. The book isn't just about some evil government forcing its will on people. It's a warning about a weakness inside all of us. That human desire for certainty, for meaning, for something bigger and more powerful than ourselves to submit to. The party didn't just seize power, it offered a dark, twisted form of salvation in its place.
So Orwell's message is pretty clear. The ultimate surveillance state doesn't just control you by watching you, it controls you by becoming a god that demands your complete and utter devotion. And it leaves us with a question that's just as relevant today as it was then. When a powerful entity demands that level of devotion, where do you draw the line between being a citizen and being a worshiper?